Well, I think I say this every time, but this one's extraordinary, so it's one of my favorites. Welcome to this incredible transformation of a dilapidated estate into this pre-war gem. It's just amazing for a family that I absolutely adore. I think we can say that we started with this huge, complete gut of all the walls. Some of our before pictures, you're going to see that there's nothing, absolutely nothing, but this little wall. There's about 10 feet of wall that remained. We had above us central air and two different ceiling heights that we had to completely address for my trim, for the lighting. There's just so many details that goes into a design build situation, as anyone knows if they're on the design and building end, but not necessarily to the consumer to know what's what. We changed all the front doors, completely rewired, upgraded electric for the apartment, brought in all of the HVAC Cat 6 stuff, in a dedicated little unit. This is our tall cabinet for brooms and stuff, so they'll come in and they're, the cleaning supplies and tall things that we don't want, a ladder and whatnot. But what I love about this is that you have just this tremendous great open space between the kitchen and what is a great room of the dining room and living room. So let's come in and take a look. We have kind of split this apartment into two because it's fairly large. It's over 2,000 square feet. And one side, all the right wing that's facing west, has the thermostat controlling the temperature for this, separately because this gets hotter. The other side, which is facing the interior part of the building, has the thermostat in the kitchen, so that we're placing it away from the units, and the air handlers are in the back, in the very back, so that we maximize the output. We had to really figure out, the challenge of this room was how to make an uneven space seem symmetrical. And the bigger problems that we had were in the ceiling, because there's a beam that supports this whole floor. These are fairly tall, almost 10-foot ceilings. And I wanted to have soffit lining and accent lining that would help define each room, besides having a kind of more contemporary coffered ceiling without all the detail, to make it feel a little bit more contemporary and still introduce a classic wainscoting, which we designed based on, the pre-war origins. A Chesney's limestone fireplace, which I think is absolutely stunning. It's a mantle and a hearth. It's not intended to be functioning. We were thinking originally about a hearth cabinet, which we love, but I think that got kind of decided that it wasn't really as necessary because they're not here as often. I think their main home is outside the United States, so what they have here is really secondary. But replaced all of the heating systems in my built-ins. The doors and the trim all have raised panel throughout in the custom millwork. We have the Whitman or Whitmore? Whitman. The Whitman light, which we love, from Circa. And we have this Starburst from, I think it's Union Jack or Blackjack. Love the mixture of the textures and the style. We kept the original French door because that was really part of the original part of the apartment, and I also kept the door style so that we had something that was harkening back to its original date, which I think is the 1920s. This is a gift that I'm giving to the owner. This is Philip Jeffries' grass paper that I think honestly looks like a painting, but I love the inspiration from nature, because that's really an important element to bring the outdoors in, and the color, which I think is just so wonderful because it's magnolias and the ethereal nature of the artists, and how the texture of the branches I think are just lovely. Colorways, all really kind of my influence here. We've got Collingwood on the Benjamin Moore flat on the top because I tied it into the limestone, and we have cloud cover, which is just a softer kind of grayish but softer sand color. And this floor, I absolutely adore this floor. It's from PID. It's a custom finish white oak, European white oak, and I think it's Brooklyn Bridge series. And it's just stunning. I mean, I know some people don't like bevels. They don't like the fact that it's not as tight as a sand and sand and stain and finish on site. But I absolutely adore this floor. It's soft. It's oil. It's an oil-based stain, so it's very easy to repair, very easy to maintain. So we have, I think, a fabulous room with the dining room and the living room wired, for whatever the family's going to need. But let's take a look over here at the kitchen since we're here. We've included pocket doors, which I typically do, so if we want to shut the kitchen off from the rest of the world. Here you can see the original door style. We have the raised panel, and the top transom was really going back to the original style of the door. I've done a custom architectural coating to highlight the ceiling in the foyer, and this riser, which was kind of our challenge with this kitchen. We originally, when you look at the before pictures when we cut in here, this was a series of rooms. So there was this tiny kitchen, there was a bathroom, there was a washer dryer room, and it was a tremendous waste of space and not open. And our goal was to, originally we were trying to offset the riser and push this over there, but the building wouldn't let us. Boards are funny. Some buildings you can and some buildings you can't, and it's really unfortunate because in this case it would have changed this kitchen so we could go through that side. But I'm really happy with how I think it turned out, because what we wanted to do is we have a condenser underneath the small window. This was a bathroom, and this condenser, which is so quiet, we have the air conditioner on right now, is what we use. This is done with my classic radiator cover, so this whole panel is removable. We have a great big pantry here, so there's tons of storage and open shelving, and we took advantage. Soffit here is the duct to the bathroom exhaust, the powder bath, and that's the duct to the hood, because this is a vented hood and there are big cooks here. We went with what they wanted for the GE Monogram Fridge with the exterior water dispenser, our classic microwave drawer, which is always wonderful to have, I think. Some people are different opinions of this, but it's really lovely to not have to be bothered with this. With having to have it, open it and lift up or whatnot. Again, tremendous storage. I'm a big believer in having enough drawers. And we have storage underneath the island. So this is seated for 4, believe it or not, because they can all hang out here in the kitchen while they're cooking. This is silestone. It's the Calcutta. We actually put the stone on the outside so that we don't have as much damage from people sitting on, the bar stools here. Counter height. We have my typical, I have, the two bins for the rollout and the sink tilt out. What I love about this kitchen, though, is that we incorporated all the material. I like to do vertical with this kind of handmade tile that I know is from Cancos, because I think it changes it up. It makes it feel a little bit more contemporary. It kind of has an Asian feel a little bit, but to add height, we go all the way up to the ceiling with my custom finish detail and build up. And I like to pull a crown around window surrounds and tile the window completely. We also painted the windows electrostatically, so they're white, and the countertop also finishes the back of the sink and the windowsills, so that it's completely maintenance-free as far as we're concerned. We have these beautiful Hubbard & Forge pendants, which is they kind of remind me of a flower. That was the inspiration, and because we're bringing nature to the inside, that's really why that's there, and it added a softness to this, which I think is beautiful. We have, of course, the gas range and exhaust here. We have a terrible problem with the gas meter, but we chose to hide it. And we have to put grills. That was the last change we had to make. We had to custom make the panel so that there's airflow to pass Con Ed inspection. So we'll put the grills in when they come in. That's kind of our last detail. But let's take a look now at the back of the house. We had one hell of a time with engineering. And the reason I took over this project was the client couldn't get the permit. Even though they had contacted us a while ago, they couldn't get the HVAC straightened out. And so we engineered the system with the condenser that you saw in the kitchen, another condenser in another bedroom. And there are two runways here of these giant ducts that are in our drop ceiling in this hallway. We were able to design putting LED recessed lights, little ones, that fit magically. These are the thin profile ones. We have a big foyer closet here. And we managed to, because we have, so much activity in the family room, dining room, and kitchen, put a little tiny powder bath here. We're using the Toto washlet toilets, which you can see in there. We have the aqueous everywhere, so they're sensitive to water. And there's a great little Duravi vanity with the tiniest of sinks, which I think is all that we need for a powder bath, of course, with our classic pocket doors for privacy, that close all the way. But I think it fits the bill. There's exhaust fans in all our bathrooms, and they are whisper quiet. You don't even know they're there. They're just wonderful. Panasonic. We have a big linen closet in the hall. I kind of like to have a monotone color palette, so we've got I think it's classic gray in the hallway, classic gray in the bedroom, and then Collingwood over here. So this bedroom gave us fits. This bedroom, and of course carried the wood throughout, has, as I usually do, I have my LED lighting that's a magnet relay switch, so as soon as you open the door, it comes on. We had risers here that we couldn't move. They came from a bathroom. Originally, this was a bathroom, and you can kind of tell if you're ever in an apartment, you can tell just by the size of the window what was reconfigured. So we have another big condenser here that's feeding the system, and all the piping goes up because we drop the ceiling to run the various gas lines, refrigerant lines, electrical, exhaust. Here we have a booster fan so that, because we have a full-size washer and dryer, that is a gas dryer, and the duct line is too far, so the booster fan has to be at the end of the run so that it'll pull through, and we can maintain that. That's why we have those big access panels. This washer dryer, full size, has a drain standoff here. We found the riser and the drain in this location, which is another riser, so that we could actually put this in. We've kept all of the floor levels flush. So in this case, we were able to design a floor, which was really wonderful, without having to have saddles and transitions that are really seamless, which is how I would prefer to do all my floors, and I can't always do them that way. But so we're completely passed on all our inspections and everything's working. Let's take a quick look at this hall bath, which is really for the boys. I know it's bright in here, so what can we do about morning sun? We had an interesting challenge here because we have steel beams every 7 feet in the floor, and we couldn't actually pitch the plumbing properly. So we ended up designing this architecturally so that all of our aqua washlet toilets are draining and going back to the risers in the walls. So we negotiated this with the building architect, on board, and do my classic, vanities that are wrapping around with the door styles that are kind of consistent throughout. Did a drop-in tub, we thought, for resale. Even though the family's going to live here forever, they'd probably want a tub and a shower here. Took advantage of this light. It's just wonderful to have so much light in a bathroom. It's all porcelain. Again, from Cankos. Love this line. Kohler fixtures. We think it's just stunning because, and I guess today porcelain is just really wonderful in terms of how the digital imaging is working. We have a second bedroom that we're going to go into here. This bedroom it's larger. I don't know, I think eventually that would really be an office or a den for the smaller one. And this is a much larger bedroom with a lovely closet, bigger closet. We do our magnet relays switches on each door so that no matter which way they open it, the lights come on. Again, we have our wall-to-wall built-ins with surrounding the radiator. If they ever need to take it out, they can. You know, the electrostatic painted window frames changed everything. All of the integrated sills are pure white, Caesar stone pure white. Again, the taller two-piece baseboard and the original, new 1 3/4 doors, Baldwin hardware. Quite lovely. And here we have probably one of the most soothing bedrooms. I love the color of this bedroom. This is just stunning. It's winter solstice. Again, all our paints are Benjamin Moore. I tend to go with the whitest white I can of the ceiling. It's actually their base paint that has no color. And the reason I like it is because it will reflect color in a way that none of the other whites do. And it works with the fact that we have a different finish, a polyester finish on the built-ins. We use there's a paint that we can use on the baseboard and moldings that stretches like oil-based paint, but it's not. It's, again, Benjamin Moore satin. And we have, back here, we have our air handlers, and the air conditioning is running right now. We have a great big closet here, vertical, that I had to create, which unfortunately took the space away from a closet for them. But this services the left side, and we have another one in the ceiling of the master closet, and of course this will be fitted out with a built-in, but that's another air handler that all feeds into the drains. They're carrier systems. They're absolutely wonderful. But the piece de resistance is actually, and then there's his closet, is the master bath, which is where we're going. This is his or her, and they can do double hung. I mean, I think there's really, for a house that you're not going to have a lot of time in, there's more than enough closets, which is my big gripe. But this bathroom now, the master bath, I think is probably one of my favorites because we were able to work with porcelain that looks this is onyx. This is their beige onyx. This is again a Kenko's product. We love this tile. We wish we could have done it in full slabs. I would have bookended them, but we couldn't because we couldn't quite figure out how we're going to get it in here. Plus, it's really, really probably would have blown the budget for us, and we had enough going on as it is. So one of our big challenges was this shower, which was a closet originally, and we couldn't figure out how because of the logistics of the corner of this drop-in soaking tub and the door. The way we could maximize the size of the door is have it be an in-swing with only an outside pull and a finger pull, so that when you're in here, when you're inside, you can open and close this door, but when I open it completely, it doesn't hit the wall. We just love this. And of course, cubbies, Starfire glass, which we custom, we always have our custom installer do it. The tub was tough for a lot of reasons, one of the corners, so we just made a custom matching the countertop, which is organic white. We finished this corner so it perfectly seamlessly works with the shape of the tub. A cubby here as well, and a handheld for when they need it, the hotel shelf, which makes sense. We have a bath exhaust here. And my favorite treatment of the whole bathroom is this mirror. So we ended up creating a surround, framed the mirror, a beveled mirror with the Caesar stone countertop, adding, what looks like plinth blocks, but kind of more contemporary, around this double vanity. Again, keeping it somewhat modern with the type of fixtures, Kohler fixtures in the Aquia wall hung, and the little recessed niche for the toilet paper, which I love because it just flips up, which makes it very easy to use. These are Sonneman sconces, and I think, honestly, that this little master bath is really stunning. So we'll say ciao for now, and we'll see you on the next big one.